in your exam, you won't ask behavior economist.
Huh?
We won't do a behavior economist.
Behavior economics.
We won't do, no? Are we going to do or not?
So, for the next exam, exam 2,
Yeah.
we're not doing behavior economics. The coming exam, which will be in 2 weeks, it will cover the utility chapter, the marginal utility, then the productivity chapter, cost of production and everything, and the last thing will be competitive markets, profits and competitive markets. So, okay, let's do a problem. I think we have about 6 weeks left of the semester. 5 or 6 weeks, not too much. Weekly budget of an individual is $50. How does individual maximize their total utility? You know what? This we already talked about. I'm sorry, I don't have to do this one. We're ahead of that. Never mind. Should a firm hire additional workers? Should a firm increase or decrease price? Should a firm move to China? These are some of the questions that, executives in the firms decide. And the answers are based on, if it increases profit, then yes. If it decreases profit, then no. Then yes. If it decreases profit, then no. A typical shale gas well for fracking gas costs $8 million. So a typical shale gas well for fracking gas or extracting gas. This means extracting gas. Costs $8 million. From this information, we know that they expect at least $8 million in revenue. From this information, we know that they at least expect $8 million in revenue, otherwise they wouldn't do it. Otherwise they wouldn't do it. Otherwise, they wouldn't spend $8 million extracting it if they were not expecting 8 million at least in revenue. So we know that the marginal cost of extracting the gas from the well is 8 million. And we know that the marginal revenue has to be greater than or at least equal to the marginal cost. Greater than 8 million.
So basically, the revenue just has to be either greater or equal to the cost.
The marginal cost
Okay.
for a firm to do an activity, yes.
Okay.
General Motors installs 2.2 million of solar panels. In Lordstown. And the statement they gave is, this is good for the environment and our bottom line. This solar panel project is projected to save approximately 4 million a year for General Mills. Approximately 4 million a year. In utilities. So they were nice enough to even mention that it's good for our bottom line. Sometimes they just say we're just doing it to save the environment, etc. But the truth is that they're doing it because they wanna decrease the cost or increase the profit. GM knows, so this is another statement or problem. GM knows for a fact that they will receive 25,000 for a cruise. Their current average total cost is equals to $26,000 per cruise. Should they produce it? So they will receive 25,000 for the car. They know that for sure. The average total cost of producing one car is 26,000. Should they produce it or not? No. We don't know if it will increase profit or decrease profit. Increase profit or not. Because we don't know marginal cost. We cannot decide based on average total cost because average total cost equals fixed cost plus variable cost. And fixed cost has a startup it's a sunk cost. It doesn't matter when making a decision. When making a decision. So just by telling us that, you know, the average total cost is greater than the price they will receive is not enough information to know whether they should produce the car or not. We need to know the marginal cost of the car. How much additional does it cost them to produce the car? Average total cost has fixed cost component in it. And fixed cost is a startup cost. It shouldn't really matter when you're deciding whether to produce the additional unit or not. So it's the marginal revenue and marginal cost that matters. in making economic decisions. Whether we should produce or whether we should do the activity or not, whether we should hire more people or not. So any economic decision or financial decision that you're making, it's the marginal revenue and marginal cost that matters. If the marginal cost of producing the cruise is $20,000, if marginal cost of producing cruise is 20,000, then we should produce it because it will increase profit. Then it would increase profit by 5,000 because the car sells for $25,000, right? If the marginal cost is greater than 25,000, then it would reduce profit and we shouldn't do it. If marginal cost is greater than $25,000, then it would decrease profit and we shouldn't do it. So the profit maximizing rule is that do an activity as long as the marginal revenue is greater than the marginal cost. If the marginal revenue is less than the marginal cost, then don't do it. Don't produce it. Don't do that activity.